Even if he doesn't, your majesty may be sure we will not worship your God. Don't you see that even though religion doesn't negotiate with God, no negotiation, it makes a complete surrender. When even though religion comes to the end of its rope, it knots it and it hangs on saying, even though I have nothing to show for it, I will still be loyal to God. Tough times can harden your determination, or they can harden your heart, and it is your choice. What have I got to be thankful for, someone asked. I cannot even pay my bills. The friend said, then be thankful you're not one of your creditors. You know, we can always find someone worse off than we are, can't we? But I don't know why that should make us feel any better. Huh? Does that make sense to you? That you feel better if you find somebody worse off? You know, the superficial advice disturbs me. Cheer up, things could be worse, someone said. So I cheered up, and sure enough, they got worse. If then religion is self-centered and conditioned, even though religion is faith-centered and unconditioned. Thirdly, so then religion is God-centered and dynamic. So then religion is a human response to divine initiative. It is our response to what God has done for us in creation and redemption. Paul said in Colossians 3:12-17, you are the people of God. He loved you. He chose you for his own. So that you must clothe yourselves with compassion and kindness and humility, gentleness and patience. You must forgive one another as the Lord has forgiven you. Everything you do or say, then, should be done in the name of the Lord Jesus, as you give thanks through them to God the Father. So then, religion is not a tool to manipulate the gods. Neither is it a security blanket for tough times, but it is a dynamic response to God's initiative. That God made us his people is God's free gift to us. It is a dynamic gift that triggers within us a life-changing response. So then religion is our response to what God is doing in everyday mercy. The first 11 chapters of Romans, Paul builds a case of salvation by grace through faith. And then he comes to that great chapter 12, and with the very first verse, he says, so then, because of God's great mercy, offer yourselves as a living sacrifice to God, dedicated to his service and pleasing to him. This, he says, is the true worship that you should offer. You might remember the child's prayer who said, God, take care of Mommy and Daddy. And God, take care of Grandma and Grandpa. And God, take care of yourself, because without you, we'd all be sunk. When a child was shown a globe, he noticed that all the people in the southern hemisphere walked upside down. And he wondered how they could do that without falling off. And when someone tried to explain the law of gravity to him, he said this: gravity must be God at the center of the world that keeps people right side up when the world is upside down. There is wisdom in that beyond the scientific. So then, religion is our response to what God will do for us in resurrection and life hereafter. Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 15, after 56 verses of talking about the resurrection of Jesus, he comes to this great conclusion. So then, stand firm and steady. Keep busy always in your work for the Lord, since you know that nothing you do in the Lord's service is ever useless. That God will raise us from the grave guarantees the perpetual value of everything we do for Him in this life. Our response to Him has no limit and no end. I ask each of you this morning to answer this question. What kind of religion do you have? Are you at the if-then stage of bargaining with God? Are you at the even-though stage of toughing it out? Are you at the so-then stage of responding to God's initiative? Just think what God has done for you in creation.
Oh Lord my God, when I am awesome wonder, consider all the worlds thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder. Thy power through all the universe displayed.
Think what God is doing for you in redemption.
And when I think of God, His Son once buried, sent Him to die, I scarce can take it in. That on the cross, my burdens gladly buried, He bled and died to take away my sin.
Think what God will do for you in resurrection.